Welcome to episode 234 of the 2-Minute Warning. Today, I'm looking at the New York Jets announcing that after Week 17 of the NFL, they are more than likely going to move on from their head coach, Adam Gase. I'm going over what does this mean for the Jets, what does this mean for Adam Gase. Adam Gase, we know, does not have a great resume in winning by any means. He hasn't done much when he was head coach of the Dolphins, and he clearly has not done much as a head coach for the New York Jets. In his defense, I'm not trying to just bash Adam Gase by any means. I'm not a fan of him, but I don't want to just seem like I'm bashing him. The Jets were an awful team, and he did not have a lot to work with. However, him showing absolutely zero progress while being with the Jets, not getting along with the players, and never wanting Le'Veon Bell to really be on the team, it's just not a good sign. We've seen him lie in press conferences. We've seen him really never take the fault for any losses. He always blames someone else. And truthfully, I just think he's a bad coach. He doesn't win games, makes bad play calls. I truly think if you put Adam Gase on like the Kansas City Chiefs having the most stacked team in the NFL, that team is no longer as competitive as they are right now. Obviously, Andy Reid's a top 3 coach, so it's easy to say that, but I'm serious. What I mean is if you take Adam Gase and puts him on the Chiefs, he completely just ruins them. I mean, the Chiefs could probably get to the playoffs with just out of pure talent, having him at coach, but he will 100% ruin that team and, probably trade some guy, probably get an argument with some guy. He will not let them reach their max potential by any means. I don't think he could really win with any team. Even though it's kind of bashing him, I just think he's not a great coach, and he doesn't have the credibility clearly to be an NFL head coach. I think leaving the Jets, I don't think he's going to get an NFL head coaching job. He might be an offensive defensive coordinator somewhere, but even that's a stretch to me. He'll probably go back down to just being a positional coach, whether it be a QB coach, wide receiver coach, tight end coach, special teams coach, whatever it is. I think he'll just go down to a positional coach and maybe work his way back up, but he's not going to get a big head coaching job by any means right away after being fired. What does this mean for the Jets? I love this move for them. They're at rock bottom, and really they can only go up from here. But moving on from Adam Gase was a huge catapult to shoot them up to the next level. You could really throw in anyone, in my opinion, at the head coaching job for the Jets, and they really can't get much worse. I think any average coach could at least do Adam Gase's job and hopefully better. However, I don't know what the hot market is for coaches to want to coach in New York and be the Jets head coach. I think there was some appeal when the Jets had the number 1 overall pick and had Trevor Lawrence coming to them. I'm sure a lot of coaches were interested in maybe going to coach the Jets if they had that once-in-a-decade type of quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. However, them being at the number 2 pick now and maybe drafting Justin Fields, maybe drafting Zach Wilson, maybe keeping Sam Darnold, the appeal is not there. Not as much there by any means. Don't know why I stuttered with that so bad. But I think the Jets' best move is to, yes, think about their coaching staff 100% and worry about who they're going to replace with. But I think the draft, the move they should make in the draft is keeping Sam Darnold and surrounding him with a fortress of offense. Trade the number 2 pick and get a number 1, or get a first round, get a second round, get a third round pick. Get assets to draft with and give Sam Darnold an offensive fortress to play with. This is what we kind of see with the Cleveland Browns doing with Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield has a solid receiving core between Odell. Yes, he's in and out, but he's great talent and has drama. Austin Hooper, solid tight end. Jarvis Landry, of course. Like I said, solid receiving core, but that backfield is amazing between Nick Chubb being a powerhouse, Kareem Hunt. He could run the ball just as good as Nick Chubb also, but he's really an out of the backfield, catching the ball type of threat. And then having a top 3, arguably number 1 offensive line in the NFL. Baker Mayfield, having that fortress around him, is going to take his team to the playoffs. I think if you give Sam Darnold a similar situation, give him a receiving core that can actually play great, give him a great O-line, give him a running game, I think Sam Darnold could take his team to the playoffs. I mean, we've seen Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold just match up in Week 16 of the NFL, and Baker Mayfield's receivers, pretty much all of them, like they had to bring in 2 guys from the practice squad to replace them, were out due to COVID. So we saw Baker Mayfield have 0 receivers face off against Sam Darnold having 0 receivers, which he's had all 3 years of his NFL career. And we saw them face off with similar talent, and Sam Darnold outplayed Baker Mayfield and won that game. So in my opinion, when they both have garbage and Sam Darnold outplays Baker Mayfield, you can just assume if they both have talents, Sam Darnold would outplay Baker Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield's taking his team to the playoffs this year more than likely. So I think Sam Darnold, given the right weapons, can take his team to the playoffs. Now, I know the Jets can't fix this in 1 year. However, I do think this is a big year to capitalize off that. Firing Adam Gase was the biggest thing you really could have done to help your team biggest piece wasn't drafting this new superstar, adding this big free agent. It was getting rid of your biggest problem to me. That was Adam Gase, just resetting the coaching staff, getting a new start. Even if it's a bad start, you can't do worse. You'll just do the same. You don't have much to lose. To me, even if you draft Justin Fields and don't keep Sam Darnold, I think you just not having a good offensive line, no matter who you put behind that center at the quarterback position, they need someone to throw to. I don't think Justin Fields could just save the day and take the Jets to the playoffs in the glory days. I think the biggest problem is surrounding the entire team with talent rather than just the quarterback position. I think Sam Darnold could get the job done with the right players. I say keep faith in him at least one more year. What do you have to lose? You're at rock bottom. Worst comes to worst is that you're in the same situation come next year, and the risk-reward scenario is great. Reward being you have your franchise quarterback. If you just trust Darnold, give him a little bit of help. Risk, you're in just one more year behind. You're already the worst team in the NFL. What's it being one more year or the worst year in the NFL? Browns did it for 30 years. So I think this is a great move for the Jets. Adam Gase, your future isn't looking bright, my man. But the Jets, not going to say they're a playoff team by any means next year, even if they give Sam Darnold, Jamar Chase from LSU and Devontae Smith from Alabama and Juju Smith from the Steelers, or sign Le'Veon Bell from the Chiefs. But I think you just give him a little bit more talent, give him a year to see this is your guy, and then maybe another year to finally click. I think they could be a possible playoff team within the next 2, 3, 4 years. Next year, they're not going to make it, but I do think next year is a big year to capitalize and show they are making progress. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What you think Adam Gase is going to do. What do you think the Jets will do in the draft? Let me know what you think. 2-minute warning.